Yes.
Because I would forget how famous she
Right.
was. We were just sisters.
For years, Cece Winans has been a gospel icon, the voice behind hits like Mercy Said No. However, her 59th birthday has brought her fame for reasons other than singing. Rumors have followed her for years. Cece is now ready to clear things up. How did she come to this decision? How will it affect her life going forward? See the astonishing facts of Cece Winans' surprising disclosure as we reveal them in this video. And do you know the legend of Cece Winans? Leave an A in the comments if you do. Early life and background. We may better understand Cece Winans and the stories that have circulated about her if we examine her background first. David and Dolores Winans welcomed their daughter Cece, whose birth name was Priscilla, on October 8, 1964. The arrival of Cece's parents was a cause for celebration and excitement since they had 7 sons: David, Ronald, Marvin, Carvin, Daniel, Michael, and Benjamin, or BB, and had longed for a girl. A daughter, Cece, was born to the Winans, who would later have 2 more daughters, Angelique and Debbie, as a result of their prayers. The name Cece may have originated from her close relationship with her paternal grandmother, Laura Howes. However, its exact origin is unclear. Laura, whom Cece lovingly dubbed her best friend growing up, was Cece's sister from the day she was born. As time went on, the moniker Cece grew into a nickname that would come to represent one of the most influential gospel singers of all time. The advice and counsel that Cece received from her grandma were invaluable to her and would accompany her on her trip. Specifically, one piece of advice stuck out. God is working in your life. Cece. Nothing would happen if you just held his hand. Cece's parents, David and Dolores, were devout Christians and devoted family members. They raised their 10 children with an unwavering devotion to God, and that faith showed in everything they did. David and Dolores were not only wonderful parents but also hard workers. David worked as a taxi driver and a hairdresser, while Dolores worked as a nurse at Metropolitan Hospital. Although the family did not have much in the way of material things, their love, faith, and musical talent were priceless treasures. The Winans' home was not only a shelter for the family members but also a haven for music lovers. It was always filled with song and melody, a constant source of inspiration for those lucky enough to enter. It was in this environment that Cece and her siblings learned the value of music, love of family, and loyalty to their faith. These values became the solid foundation upon which they would go on to become influential people in their community and the gospel music industry. That was the norm for Cece's family. Dolores and David first met in 1950 when they both sang in the Lemon Gospel Choir in Detroit. For them, gospel music was more than just a hobby. It was a deep passion. This bond became a strong foundation for raising their children, where music and unwavering faith were valued and passed down from generation to generation. Gospel music was ingrained in Cece's family from her early years living on Woodingham Street in West Side, Detroit. From the time she was a little girl, music was an integral part of her life. When Cece was just 7 years old, she had the opportunity to sing "Fill My Cup" for her church congregation. It was the first time she stood in front of a crowd and showcased her talent. Although she was very shy and reserved at the time, her courage and passion for singing praises to God were evident from the very beginning. The support and guidance from her parents, along with the inspiring family environment, helped Cece develop and mature in gospel music. She not only continued the family tradition, but also became a strong icon in the field of gospel music, carrying her parents' legacy and passion into her career. Those familiar with the Winans family were not surprised by her performance. Singing was an integral part of their everyday lives, serving as a medium for expression, amusement, and understanding of their environment. It was not uncommon for Cece's parents to take the lead. Her mom would sing while making supper, and her dad would harmonize when Sunday school was getting ready. For Cece's family, Christmas is not just a time to exchange gifts, but a time to celebrate and share joy in the community. Instead of focusing on gift-giving, they host an annual Christmas concert for the neighborhood. This is not only a family tradition, but also a way to teach their children the true meaning of Christmas. David and Dolores, with their deep passion for gospel music and faith, have created an environment where the values of sharing and celebrating are paramount. The Christmas concert at Mercy Hall has become a beloved and anticipated tradition in the community. As word of the concert spread, attendance skyrocketed, demonstrating the interest and love for the event. This is a testament to the Cece family's far-reaching influence and their commitment to serving the community through music. Growing up in Detroit, Cece was raised in a loving environment with a passion for music. Her strong faith in God and her mission in life were shaped by her early days in her family and community. In an interview, Cece shared her heritage and the profound meaning of music in her life. She emphasized that music is not only a career but also a means to pass on her faith and family values, continuing the positive influence that her parents laid in her early years. She went on to explain how God had entrusted her with the ministry of singing, which was more than just a job for her. Throughout her life, Cece has been guided by the profound conviction that music is more than simply a profession. It is a spiritual calling. With this realization in mind, she set her sights on a gospel music career, where she could share her talent with the world. Ascend to fame. At the tender age of 17, Cece began her ascent to stardom when she sang with her brother BB on the gospel music show Praise the Lord. As a result of this chance meeting, the siblings were able to enter the national Christian market. Lord Lift Us, their platinum-certified album, was recorded in partnership with them. They played it on PTF, where they gained extensive exposure and laid the groundwork for their subsequent success. The remainder of the Winans family persisted in following their artistic and spiritual vocations as Cece made her mark with BB, David, Ronald, Marvin, and Carvin, her 4 eldest brothers, formed the gospel quartet The Winans, which went on to win several awards. Marvin started the Perfecting Church in Detroit, which eventually had 3,000 members, while her brother Daniel went alone. The marriage of 19-year-old Cece to 16-year-old Alvin Love marked a turning point in her personal life. They happened to cross paths by chance. Bowling with the family was Alvin, who was friends with Cece's brother Ronald. Following their time with PTL, he paid a visit to Cece and BB in North Carolina, following their wedding, which took place about 1 year after their first encounter. Cece returned to Detroit and temporarily severed ties with her musical collaborator BB. Cece managed her new married life and her burgeoning job throughout this time of upheaval. She went to beauty school, and then she and Alvin started a salon in the same building where her dad had been a barber. While Alvin was working at Xerox, Cece's dad ran the salon, and she kept performing on occasion with BB. A son, Alvin III, was born to Cece in the spring of 1985. The desire for her to collaborate with BB on recordings and performances spiked around the time of her achievement. Nashville is the epicenter of Christian current music and gospel. Therefore, Alvin took advantage of the chance by transferring his employment with Xerox to this city. Because of this change, Cece was able to return to Nashville and resume her music career with BB, who had already settled there. From their personal lives to her professional career, Cece and Alvin were inseparable. In a supporting capacity, Alvin collaborated with them to shape Cece's musical path. Their connection was built on a foundation of great friendship and shared religion. Ashley Rose was born to Cece and Alvin in 1987. Being a wife and mother was Cece's favorite job, she said again and time again. Even as her career took off, she took heart from her parents' example, who made sure that she and her family regularly attended church and prioritized God's will in their lives. Aside from being a wonderful wife and mother, Cece's profession as a musician with BB became stronger and stronger. Their 1987 self-titled album and 1988 follow-up, Heaven, were both issued by the pair. Their gospel and Christian contemporary fan bases were greatly expanded by these recordings. The 1991 publication of Different Lifestyles was a watershed moment in Cece's career. Their breakthrough came with this album, which helped them achieve popularity outside of the Christian music industry. As singles like Addictive Love and I'll Take You There rose in the charts, Cece's expressive singing and moving performances reached a larger audience. She has discussed the surprising nature of the duo's success in interviews. They were first approached with an invitation to join the singing group of a Christian television network in Charlotte, North Carolina. Their assigned song for the performance was Lord Lift Us, a cover of Love Lift Us with some changes. Invitations to sing at several churches followed the enthusiastic reception they received from the crowd, which ultimately led to recording chances. The tremendous response to Cece and BB's performances forced them to change their original plans and become a duo. Their stardom didn't shake Cece's devotion to her family and religion. She was never one to pursue fame for its own sake. Instead, she considered her music a form of ministry, a vehicle for spreading her religion and making a difference in people's lives. Despite the demands of performance, Cece's position as a wife and mother brought her fulfillment. Even though she liked singing, she said time and time again that she had no ambition to be a star. The simple things in life brought her the most happiness, and her family was the source of her greatest delight. Solo Performance by Cece Winans. Following years of indisputable success as BB's duet partner, Cece's career took an exciting turn when she chose to go solo. Alone in His Presence was Cece's debut solo effort, which came out in 1995. For Cece and the gospel music business as a whole, this record was a watershed moment. Only 3 gospel albums have sold over 1 million copies before this one. Sales weren't the only measure of Alone in His Presence's success. Cece received 3 awards for the album, 1 Grammy, 1 Dove, and the highly sought Female Vocalist of the Year. After the triumph of her first solo effort, Cece released Everlasting Love in 1998 to keep the momentum going. Well, All Right and Slippin', 2 of Cece's most popular solo singles, were featured on this album, which was certified gold. The album showcased Cece's talent for blending genres while remaining faithful to her gospel heritage. It had both modern sounds and soulful gospel music. The CD was Cece's way of expressing her gratitude for the Christmas season and her wish to share the joy and optimism that it brings. A joyous compilation of music, His gift struck a chord with audiences. Cece took a risk in 1999 when she launched Pure Springs Gospel, her record label. In making this choice, Cece made it plain that she wanted greater autonomy in her music and wanted to back other gospel musicians. Her new label published Alabaster Box as its debut album, produced by the legendary gospel singer and guitarist Fred Hammond, with a cameo appearance by the cappella group Take 6. This record was a labor of love for Cece. Critically and commercially successful Alabaster Box solidified Cece's standing as a solo artist capable of standing on her own 2 feet while pushing the genre's boundaries further. A live performance by Cece at New York's Lamb's Theater was published on video disc the following year, featuring live renditions of songs from Cece's earlier albums. This endeavor served as a tribute to her career up to that time. After that came 2001 with Cece Winans, an album simply named Cece. Grits, a Christian rap group, made a cameo on the track Anybody Wanna Pray from this album. Say a Prayer, the second track, became a hit in the modern Christian music industry. With 2003's Throne Room, Cece made her album return after a 2-year hiatus. There was a notable shift in Cece's career trajectory with the release of this album, with an increased emphasis on spirituality and worship. In addition to the music video for Cece's 2001 single, More Than What I Wanted. Woo! The first 1,000 Throne Room CDs came with a bonus CD that featured rare interviews with the artist as well as production material. Throne Room, a 25-city tour that featured the gospel group Anointed, was the album's official support. The tour was special since it didn't cost anything to attend, allowing even more people to enjoy Cece's music. Live in Throne Room, a DVD of the tour that documented the concert's spiritual vibe and spectacular performances, came out later. Nevertheless, Cece encountered some obstacles on her voyage. It was about September 2004 that Cece got sick with what she believed to be the flu. The patient had to be admitted to the hospital and operated on right away due to a severe stomach illness. The continuation of the Throne Room tour has to be rescheduled due to this health concern. Purified, Cece's 7th studio album, came out in 2005. Her cousin Mario Winans helped out with production on this record, while her son Alvin III contributed lyrics. This record was truly a family affair for the Winans, since Cece's younger sisters Angie and Debbie also contributed vocals. An album that reflected Cece's life, her religion, and her family's unwavering devotion. Purified was a labor of love for her. The gospel charts weren't Cece's only musical outlet. Her Waiting to Exhale soundtrack duet with Whitney Houston, Count on Me, proved that. With peak positions of number 4 on the Adult Contemporary and number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100, the song was an enormous success. Her work with Whitney Houston demonstrated her flexibility as an artist and cemented her position as a crossover performer who can connect with audiences across genres. Gospel and non-evangelical listeners both were receptive to Cece's subsequent single releases. The dramatic track Waging War was released in 2008 by her 8th studio album, Thy Kingdom Come. Once again, Cece proved her talent for making commercially successful music that was both emotionally and spiritually elevating with this album. With the publication of their 2009 duet album Still on Malaco Records, Cece and BB were once again brought together. The album showcased Cece's long-standing tradition of strong family relationships and partnerships, with guest appearances from Marvin Winans and Mary Mary, a modern gospel sister pair. Fans who had been there from the start loved the Still album, which celebrated Cece and BB's musical collaboration. Cece was gifted in many ways than just singing and recording. A judge on Sunday Bet's Gospel Singing Competition. From 2012 to 2014, she was joined by her brother BB. Through this position, Cece was able to pass on her extensive expertise and experience to young gospel performers, who benefited much from her guidance and mentoring. Cece has been the target of rumors and scandals throughout her stellar career. While the epidemic was at its peak in 2020, one of Cece's most memorable events occurred during that year. As the country confronted unprecedented obstacles, the Trump administration allegedly sought to recruit famous people to appear in a series of ads meant to reassure the public. Cece was one of the names that was given. The word got out fast, and it made a lot of people, including her followers, very upset. Is it true that Cece is allying herself with a very contentious political figure? A raging torrent of conjecture ensued in response to this inquiry, with many questioning if Cece had contributed her voice to a politically charged campaign. Confirms the rumors. Amid the growing reports, Cece decided to take matters into her own hands and address the problem head-on. Cece verified in a video she shared on Twitter that she had been interviewed by U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams, but she made it clear from away that public health was the only topic of discussion, and that masks and other measures to prevent the spread of the virus were of the utmost importance. Cece stressed that her role was entirely focused on promoting safety and well-being throughout the crisis, and she made it very apparent that she had no political agenda. The film captured Cece's genuine emotion as she spoke about her wish to stop the spread of COVID-19. She told her devotees to take extreme measures to safeguard themselves and those they care about. Cece, before ending her speech with a heartfelt "God bless you," wanted to send a clear message to her supporters. She emphasized that her actions were not motivated by any political animosity, but by genuine concern for them. She wanted people to understand that her primary motivation was love and concern for the community, not antagonism or hate. However, rumors and speculations have continued to circulate about Cece's stance on certain elements of popular culture, especially when these elements relate to her religion. Many have questioned her views on the values that popular culture represents, and whether they are compatible with the faith she holds. These questions have become hot topics of discussion, creating controversy and curiosity among the public. In a video of her speech at Highland College Chapel in 2021, Cece's speech went viral on social media. In it, she rejected what she called immoral influences and urged people to seek God's favor. Her words reflected her steadfastness in her religious beliefs and values. She was not afraid to condemn elements of society that she considered contrary to morality and faith in God. To illustrate her point, Cece recounted a story about her late friend Whitney Houston. In the story, Whitney was preparing to shoot the music video for her song "I'm Every Woman" when she shared with Cece about her experience. This story not only served as a reminder of their close friendship, but also served as a way for Cece to emphasize her message about the importance of maintaining faith and moral values, even in the face of the challenges and temptations of the entertainment industry. If what Cece said was true, Whitney Houston asked her to appear in the music video for the song I'm Every Woman, knowing full well that Cece would decline the invitation because of the lyrics. Whitney likely had a deep understanding of Cece's beliefs and knew that the lyrics might not align with the religious values that Cece held dear. While the music of the song was beautiful and powerful, Cece felt that the lyrics contradicted her understanding of God's word. As a result, she decided not to listen to the song anymore. Specifically, she shared that singing the first line, I can chant, made her feel uncomfortable, as it contradicted her beliefs about the meaning and power of words in her Christian faith. Cece explained that this discomfort was not just a passing feeling, but a profound sign of how her faith guided her in life and influenced her career decisions. For her, maintaining her faith and following God's word are top priorities, and this was evident in her refusal to participate in a project that she felt could threaten her spirituality and morality. This choice not only reflected Cece's devotion to her faith, but also sparked deep conversations about the relationship between religion and popular culture. These conversations began with the discovery that Cece was not simply refusing to participate in Whitney's music video, but was wary of listening to specific types of music that she felt could negatively impact the listener's spirituality. During her sermon, Cece warned her congregation about the potential spiritual consequences of listening to certain genres of music. She made strong comments, even calling certain rhythms and melodies demonic, as she felt they could draw people away from their faith and harm their souls. These comments quickly sparked a wave of rumors and heated conversations about Cece's views on music and pop culture. Many began to speculate about the extent to which religion might have influenced her career and life choices. To some, Cece's views may have been seen as too strict, but to others, it was a clear testament to her steadfastness and loyalty to her faith. This controversy has highlighted one of the biggest challenges Cece faces, maintaining a balance between her music career and her religious beliefs in a world where the two can sometimes clash. While some have found Cece's statements to be judgmental or restrictive, others have praised her for staying true to herself and standing firm in her beliefs in an industry that often goes against traditional values. The criticism Cece has faced stems from her expressing strong opinions on certain songs and genres of music that she feels are not in line with Christian ethics. Some have argued that this stance makes her seem closed-minded and somewhat rigid. However, for those who admire her sincerity and loyalty to her faith, Cece is a model of steadfastness in both her personal and professional life. Cece's relationship with Whitney Houston remains a hot topic, despite Cece's differing views on music. The two women were very close, and Cece spoke very candidly about Whitney as a friend in an interview with Entertainment Weekly in 2021. She shared that Whitney was not only a colleague in the music industry, but also a close friend who often stopped by her house to hang out and attend church services with her. Their relationship, built on a foundation of sincere friendship, overcame differences in musical views and personal beliefs. Cece always respected and loved Whitney, despite those differences. This new information about their relationship has dispelled speculation that Cece's religious beliefs may have caused a rift between the two. The truth is that their friendship has remained strong, even when they have different views on sensitive issues. New conversations about Cece's faith and family life began to surface in July 2024 when she revealed a very personal anecdote in an interview. In it, Cece shared her deepest feelings about the death of her brother and the loss of her father. Cece describes these losses as the darkest and most painful times of her life, but also times when her faith helped her get through them. She explained that the loss of her brother and father left her with unspeakable pain, but also made her appreciate life and her family even more. Cece shared that her religious faith became her greatest source of comfort, helping her find peace in moments of pain and helplessness. Cece's sharing not only sheds more light on who she is and her life, but also helps the public better understand why she has remained steadfast in her faith. Cece credits her faith with helping her overcome the biggest challenges in her life, and she hopes that sharing her story will inspire others to keep the faith during difficult times. Cece often emphasized her parents' deep faith, especially her father's unwavering commitment to glorifying God. She recalled a memory from her childhood of her father singing, anointing his hair, and worshiping God in the middle of the night. As a child, Cece thought these actions were strange, but over time, she began to realize the importance of worship and praise in her life. Moments like these helped her understand the value of maintaining a deep relationship with God and how faith can be an integral part of everyday life. The death of her brother, Ronald, became a defining moment in Cece's story. She recounted that she and her family were in the hospital room when Ronald took his last breath. Although the entire family was deeply saddened, Cece's father remained steadfast in his faith and began praising God at that moment. Not only did he express gratitude for the time they had with Ronald, but he also began to worship, an act of deep faith and absolute trust in God. For Cece, this moment was not only an expression of faith, but also a profound lesson in dealing with grief and loss. Her father's praise during that time of grief helped her realize the power of faith and the role of worship in overcoming life's greatest challenges. Cece shared that although it was heartbreaking, the way her father praised God during the difficult times became a great inspiration for her in maintaining her faith and belief in the darkest of times. Cece's story about her father's reaction to Ronald's death has sparked many conversations about faith and how her family deals with loss. Their strong faith has touched the hearts of many, but some question whether it is the right response to dealing with the loss of a child. Cece shared that this event has had a profound impact on her attitude toward overcoming obstacles in her life. She said that even during her most difficult times, she found strength in her devotion to God, which helped her stay strong, even when she was crying. Another anecdote Cece shared about Ronald further highlighted her family's religious faith. In this story, Ronald experienced a time when doctors pronounced him dead due to severe heart failure. Cece's family then began to pray, and her father asked the doctors to try to resuscitate Ronald as a last resort. Surprisingly, not long after, the doctors were successful in reviving Ronald. Cece is not only a globally recognized gospel singer, but also a devoted preacher, wife, mother, and grandmother. Her family and faith have always been her top priorities, even as her life has changed over the years. Through her music and ministry, Cece has continued to impact millions around the world. From her role as a judge on BET's Sunday Best to the release of her 10th studio album, Let Them Fall in Love in 2017. Cece has received critical acclaim and been honored with 2 Grammy Awards for her outstanding work. Not stopping there. In 2021, she reached another career milestone with the release of Believe For It, her debut live worship CD. These achievements not only affirm Cece's musical talent, but also show her strong influence in spreading faith and worship to everyone. Cece's remarkable journey in the gospel music industry has been marked by continued success and unwavering faith. In 2022, she received 3 additional Grammy Awards, which further solidified her position as one of the leading voices in gospel music. Her single, Goodness of God, released in September 2022, became another milestone, reinforcing her influence in the industry. Not one to rest on her laurels, Cece released her second live album, More Than This, on April 26, 2024. The album's title track, That's My King, soared to the top of the Gospel Streaming Songs chart and the Hot Gospel Songs chart, pushing the album to new heights of acclaim. Cece's powerful performance of Goodness of God alongside American Idol contestant Roman Collins during the show's finale captivated audiences and demonstrated her continued relevance in contemporary music. To promote her new album, Cece made appearances on major television shows, including The Kelly Clarkson Show and The Jennifer Hudson Show, where she shared her music and her message with even broader audiences. Cece's unwavering commitment to her faith, her family, and her music continues to inspire millions, cementing her legacy as one of the most influential gospel artists of our time. Cece's illustrious career is adorned with countless accolades that highlight her impact on gospel music and beyond. She has garnered an impressive 28 Dove Awards, 16 Stellar Awards, and 15 Grammy Awards out of 31 nominations, alongside numerous other recognitions. Among these are 7 NAACP Image Awards, 6 BET Awards, and one Soul Train Lady of Soul Award, each a testament to her enduring influence in the industry. Her contributions are also celebrated with a plaque on the Nashville Music City Walk of Fame and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, both of which underscore her legacy. In 2023, Cece received the prestigious Aretha Franklin Icon Award at the BET Stellar Awards, further solidifying her place as a gospel music legend. Yet, for Cece, her faith and family remain the true foundations of her life, surpassing even the remarkable achievements of her musical career. These core values have guided her through her journey, shaping her as both an artist and an individual of deep conviction and compassion. Cece and her family are pastors at Nashville Life Church, where she is deeply involved with her husband, Alvin Love II, and son, Alvin Love III. This has been a big part of her life, and she has been able to fulfill a long-held dream by serving in this capacity. The combination of her love of ministry and her desire to help and support people on their spiritual journey has created a sacred mission that Cece is deeply devoted to. The family has always held a special place in Cece's life. Her daughter Ashley and 3 grandchildren bring her immense joy and deep satisfaction. Spending time with her family helps Cece balance her responsibilities as a pastor, wife, mother, and grandmother. Despite her busy schedule of ministry activities, Cece has always maintained a strong commitment to her work. She deftly juggled multiple roles, from being a spiritual leader in her community to being a caregiver for her family. All driven by love and deep faith, Cece was not only an icon in gospel music, but also a model of sacrifice and dedication, both within her family and within her community. Thank you for seeing this video. We trust that you were captivated by it. Please subscribe and like the video. If you want to see the latest celebrity news, just click the video that appears on your screen. We will meet there.